arguably the greatest hitter of all time, Ted Williams, said one of the most difficult things to do in sports is hit a baseball. And I think that, people can argue and debate that a lot. The next young man that we are inducting today arguably hit the baseball better than any Felician baseball player ever had. I think it's a credit to him that he was the epitome of a student athlete. Joe Petosa was an exemplary student as well as arguably the greatest hitter that Felician baseball has ever seen. With that being said, I would like to introduce his teammate, Dan Morris, who will induct Joe Petosa into the Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here today. I'd like to start off by thanking JR, Andrew, President Milan, Vice President Franks, and the entire Athletics Hall of Fame committee for putting together such a wonderful event. Also, a special shout out to Mark Mentone. If you're an alumni here and active on social media, you would never know that he is no longer an actual employee here. But Mark remains the heartbeat of the athletic program, and he does a fantastic job with the alumni. I would like to congratulate Jarrell and his family, Alicia, Katrina, and Professor Huzzy on their well-deserved induction to Felician University's Athletics Hall of Fame. I was on campus for some of your careers, and I know how hard you all work on and off the field. I'm privileged to be here today and speak about one of my fellow teammates, my brother, and one of my best friends, Joe Petosa. However, it should be noted that I was also the best man at Joe's wedding, so this makes it public speech number 2. Joe and I met in the fall of 2009. We were both first-year players. I was a junior college transfer, and Joe was a freshman. A few weeks into the fall semester, I wound up moving into the baseball house with some of the upperclassmen. I remember one night early in the semester when my roommate, Felician Athletics Hall of Famer Nick Sidoni, told me that one of the freshmen was coming over to help him with his homework. Now at the time we were both juniors, so naturally I found that a little strange. Mickey was excited and bragging about how we had this freshman outfielder who was in all junior and senior business classes, and he was some kind of a genius. About an hour later, the doorbell rang, and there was Joe. I sat across the room and watched Joe's brain go to work as he showed Mickey the ropes. A few weeks later, Joe's legend and reputation had grown, and he was now tutoring the entire business major section of the baseball team. I gotta be honest here, and I hope the statute of limitations has run out on this, but Joe is probably responsible for the athletic eligibility and graduation degrees of about 75% of the baseball team from 2009 until about 2016.
Thanks, Joe.
Once Joe's tutoring sessions were over for the night, it was when I really got to know Joe. I learned that our fathers were both Monsignor Farrell High School baseball players together and were on the team at the same time. His dad played third base, my dad caught. I found out that Joe played travel baseball with my younger brother when they were kids. I also became aware of Joe's odd obsession with Lady Gaga, which I still don't quite understand. We learned that we could carry on full-blown conversations utilizing strictly movie quotes. Joe was definitely an interesting guy. We became close and are best friends to this day. All right, let's talk about Joe's career. I won't bore everyone with too many statistics and awards, but I'll start at the beginning. The first game of the year in 2010, Joe wasn't in the starting lineup, but got a shot as a defensive replacement late in the game after Coach Lange became unhappy with the regular player. He went on to go 3 for 10 that weekend, started every game the rest of the season, and the rest, as they say, was history. Over 4+ seasons, Joe played in a total of 193 games, had a career batting average of .334, his second all-time with 19 career triples, and his third all-time with 225 career hits. Joe was mentioned on the Felician Baseball all-time records page a whopping 22 times. Now, I don't have the official numbers on this, but without question, my favorite Joe Petosa statistic is career broken batting helmets. Now, when I tell you Joe played the game with real passion, it's an understatement. Sometimes that meant, after making it out, Joe would do his best Happy Gilmore impression and spike his helmet into 1,000 pieces, break a bat, throw his glove, or bust a pair of sunglasses. And then there was that patented jog back out to left field while mumbling obscenities to himself. Joe really did not like to make it out. If you look hard enough, some of these examples can still be found on YouTube. In all seriousness, Joe was a quiet leader on and off the field. Someone everyone on the team admired. His work ethic, hustle, and drive never wavered. A lot of people don't know this, but Joe had a serious gastroesophageal issue that required surgery his sophomore year. He lost 30 pounds after surgery and still showed up, worked hard every day, and didn't miss a game. A lot of people say that even baseball teaches you about life. You learn to deal with failure, success, pressure, adversity, working as a team, and the importance of hard work. Now, I don't want to speak for the skipper, Coach Lang, but I think one of his proudest accomplishments as the leader of this baseball program, next to winning CACC championships, is seeing the lifelong friendships that were made by his players. Joe's baseball career has now been over for some time. Joe's married to his wife, Lindsay. They recently had their first son, and they're both here today. Joe's got a new team now. I'm fortunate and blessed that he's letting me hang on the roster. I'm thrilled he's been recognized with this prestigious honor, and I'm proud to introduce to you the newest member of Felicia University's Athletics Hall of Fame, Joe Petosa.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Dan mentioned, this is the second time he's had to make a speech on my behalf. Dan, I can't promise you, but hopefully it's the last time. Dan, I just want to say thanks for everything you've done for me over the years, including all our fun times down the shore, post-graduation, and hopefully one day a third generation of Morrises and Petosas can play ball together. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to be standing up here and accepting this award in acknowledgement of my career at Felicia. I'd like to congratulate Katrina, Alicia, Jarrell, and his family on their inductions to the Hall of Fame and their recognition in their respective sports. Also, a big shout out to Professor Huzzy. Professor Huzzy was a teacher of mine during my time at Felician, and congratulations on the recognition you finally deserve. Coach Fagan, I want to say thank you for letting me hang on for the women's basketball practice squad for so many years. I haven't been following the program, but if you ever need us back, I can come out of retirement. I'd also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for consideration on selecting me into the Hall of Fame. Thank you to Mark Mentone as well, even though you probably owe me a few extra hits. That's all right. You've been a big part of the department for many years, and though you've moved on from your official capacity, you continue to be a big contributor to the program. Special thank you to Coach Chris Langen and the rest of the staff that I had over the years for allowing me to play baseball Felician. And even though he still thinks I cheated on my 60th time, and he's probably lost a bunch of his budget to some helmets, I think it worked out for the both of us, and I wish Coach Chris and the rest of the programs continued success.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Mom and Dad, I owe you guys the biggest thank you of all. I wouldn't be here today without everything you've done for me, and the sacrifices you've made along the way. Thanks for believing me and also reminding me of life beyond sports. Thank you for the countless car rides across the country to tournaments while growing up and passing on many family vacations so I could play. Thank you for pushing me towards Felician because it ended up being a great place to play, and I found great friends along the way. I wouldn't have accomplished as much athletically, academically, or professionally without your support and sacrifice over the years. Lastly, to my wife, Lindsay, who we actually hadn't met while I was playing, which is probably for the best. But her family has a few hotheads of their own, so thank you for being there for me over the past 8 years. I wouldn't change it for anything. And hopefully Leo has more of your temperament when he starts to play, but I doubt it. I am thankful for the time I spent at Felician, and it has been something that I would not change for anything. I came in as a teenager, not knowing anyone or anything, to leaving with lifelong friendships and memories. A lot of my teammates became best friends, groomsmen, and guys who will have to coach Leo one day because apparently I'm not allowed. There are countless times anyone can say, only at the F. from bus drivers sitting into hotels, deer, parked tractor trailers, ramming the top of the bus off of overpasses, breaking down in airport terminals, which led to us having to play with the other team's equipment the next day. However, there are many other stories that I can't share because of the audience, but I'll just leave it at, we probably didn't get many of our security deposit backs from many southern trips. Despite our shortcomings in some facilities, which led to 5 a.m. practices just to go over bunt defenses, and our very valuable run from Lyndhurst to Lodi, Coach Langen and staff were able to make us a very competitive team year in and year out. Coach Langen applied some strategies that are unique to the program. We had a pre-game vote, breakfast at McDonald's or pre-game warm-ups. McDonald's won, we ended up winning the game. Assistant coaches performed the hokey pokey at Hooters, which led to pre-game sprints in a random alley. Encouraging bench warmings to get the team fired up when down late. The 2014 team proudly, unofficially led the NCAA in bench warmings. During my tenure, we went from a competitive program to winning a regular season crown in 2012 to winning the program's first conference championship and participating in our first NCAA regional in 2014. I would like to thank the teams during my tenure helped build a winning framework, but the credit goes to Coach Langen, who has now brought the program multiple conference championships, a few national rankings, and are perennial contenders in the East region. Playing baseball in college is a privilege in and of itself, but to do so at Felician has been one of the best experiences of my life. It is a time that I will always cherish and continue to look back on. There isn't a former teammate that I'm still in touch with who doesn't say they would do anything to go back. Being inducted into the Felician Hall of Fame for playing a game that I love and even hated at times is something I consider to be one of the biggest achievements in my life. I would like to say thank you all again to all my coaches, family, and friends that are here today. Thank you.